Jim Abernathy was a remarkable man. No one had more style, no one had more analytic ability, no one was a better friend.
I've known Jim Abernathy for over 20 years. His passion for recovery, his generosity of spirit, his world travel sophistication, his love of the Beach Boys always inspire me. I miss him so.
I can only say that Jim was just one of a kind.
Many thanks to Nellie, Alyssa, Maggie, and Jim's wife, Kevin Abernathy, for initiating the James Abernathy Endowed Scholarship Fund.
So my dad was born in the 1940s in Kansas City, Missouri, and had, in my view, this sort of like mythically bad childhood in terms of being the child of alcoholics. It was his destiny probably to be an alcoholic who had a fairly miserable end, but thanks to recovery, and he would attribute a lot of that to Caron, had a different path.
I got to know Jim over the last 10 years as we worked together at the National Council on Alcoholism and Drug Abuse. We spent a lot of time together, and the more time we spent, the better it got.
He was very well dressed, he loved antique cars, he was very sarcastic.
Jim had more style than anyone I've ever known. He loved to shop. His shopping may have affected the national economy.
He definitely had an edge to him.
Early in 1995, for the last stage of my interview process to become the president and CEO of Caron, I went to New York City to meet with Dirk Ziff and Jim Abernathy. Jim was as you would expect him, impeccably dressed, that no-smile face, and he asked difficult and probing questions. Actually, when I think about it, it was quite intimidating. But I also saw a man who was deeply committed to his recovery.
I would say, and he would say, that his sobriety was a foundational aspect of him in all things in his life, his business, his personal relationships, but I would say especially his family. He met my mom when he was sober. I think I owe my existence to his sobriety in more ways than one. I had my own struggles with alcoholism, and thanks to him and his example, I knew where to go and was able to get help to have a life that was not an alcoholic train wreck. He was definitely very proud and grateful for my sobriety. So my dad went to Caron 41 years ago. That for him was really the turning point in his life. So he really credited Caron with changing his life, then felt a huge responsibility to pay that back. He was always both donating money, raising money, but then also he really viewed his role as devoting a lot of time. Spent a lot of time thinking about Caron's media strategy. I think he might have even designed the logo at one point.
It was his vision that Caron should be a trusted resource for the media that would lead to Caron having many articles in leading media outlets. But it was also his vision, maybe his most important vision, that other individuals suffering from alcoholism and drug addiction would have the same opportunity at a new life in recovery, just like he did.
He definitely saw his work with Caron as an opportunity to repay a debt probably that could never be fully repaid in his mind.
To all of us at Caron, Jim would become known as the father of Caron, New York.
Over the years, Doug and I have fielded many calls from Jim about a friend, a neighbor, someone from the rooms, an employee, someone who needed financial aid to access Caron's treatment. This fund will assure that kind of access for decades to come.
It does seem that there would be no more fitting tribute, I think, especially for this scholarship endowed in his name, for people to go to Caron, because fundamentally that's what it was about to him, was getting more people there so they could get sober and have the opportunity that he had.
Financial aid is important more than ever this year. COVID-19 has intersected with the addiction epidemic in a synergistic and horrendous manner. Overdoses are up 40% over last year at this time. The impact of Jim Abernathy's New York and national Caron leadership and his advocacy and leadership of the National Council on Alcoholism and Drug Dependence is immeasurable. This year, at our virtual Caron New York Gala on September 29th, I hope you will join us. We'll be remembering Jim and our friend and colleague and co-chair extraordinaire, Neil Lasher, who we lost this spring. John Fitzsimons will receive the Richard J. Caron Award of Excellence, and Tony Ituro, for his sponsorship of Cooking for Caron over 10 years, will receive the Partnership in Recovery Award. The Tom Moran Music Award will go to Will Healy, the founder and leader of the band, the New York band Shout House, who will be our entertainment. Your support of Caron is so needed now and greatly appreciated.